Hi, welcome to INBOX. I'm your host Ghazi Mgharbel. We have 3 dynamic stories about people who are making art in dance with their hands and with light. Let's start things off with a party. When you throw a celebration, who is your guest of honor? Well, Chinese American usually start with 4-legged celebrity who loves to tear up the dance floor. INBOX's reporter Luna got invitation and went to the party.
You might have been at a party with a live band or even an orchestra, but have you ever been to a party with lions dancing right in front of you? And don't get me wrong, I mean a lion dance performance, not lions in a zoo. Gary Lowe comes from San Francisco. He has been performing and training with lion dancers for more than 30 years.
I just like it's colorful and it's part of the Chinese Asian culture.
The story of the lion dance begins in China 2,000 years ago, when a monster was destroying crops and scaring people. He even ate small children. Then, one day the villagers made a paper lion to scare the monster away. They bent drums and gongs, the lion danced, and the monster was never seen again. Today, our lion is invited to nearly every Asian business party and grand opening. How does the lion get dressed for these fabulous shows? Oh, you have a lot of lions here.
Yeah, we have a lot of lions here, and all these lions belong to our association.
Normally, what kind of people invited you to do a lion dance?
We have all kinds of people that lion dance. Majority of our clients are Chinese American. We have a lot of Caucasian Americans that hire us to do the lion and dragon dance for conventions and for all kinds of events that they have.
All these lion heads are similar, but not exactly the same.
The colors are usually in Chinese New Year celebrations. We have the red lion. So we have the gold and we have the red we use for weddings.
And white lions stand for seniors. And the black lions are strong, young, and cause trouble, so they're used for parade only. Wow, these different lines stand for different meanings. But what are these colorful lines head made of?
Right here is the inside is the 2 frame right here. These are like the PVC aluminum pipes. And the inside of the lion head is made of bamboo. And rattan. And all here is after that is covered with the rice paper.
It takes 6 months and $700 to make each lion head. Now we know how the lions get ready for performance, but we still don't know how our lions learn to dance so well. This young man is Peter Yuan. He's been performing lion dance for 2 years.
Training, when I first started off, it was chop mod.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then practice the shakes. I learned the basic triangle form, and then that's just the regular 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's extra weight above you without your legs supporting it and doing the tricks and everything else. Without that, you can't go anywhere.
We find the line has 2 dancers. Communication from one end of the line to the other is crucial. Remington is a college student. He's been dancing for 4 years.
For communication and how we work together as a team. And although at times when we want to change the routine, like out of nowhere, because certain situation, circumstance, we would do like, we would lick the feet, and then we turn around and we speak to one another like, oh, this is going on, so we have to change the routine, we're going to do this. But usually there's a bond between us because we know each other like pretty well, because we've been working together for practice for like years, and then we build certain patterns and we know each other like by heart somehow.
Okay, we've got the lines, we've got the costumes, we can dance and we can communicate. What's missing from our show? Oh, where is the band? The girl's name is Kimberly Ho. She has performed drumming for hundreds of line dance shows.
The drum represents the heartbeat of the lion.
As we know, when we are in high spirits, our hearts beat faster. And when we are in low spirits, our hearts beat slower. So, does the lion have the same heartbeat as us?
There are certain patterns, so a lot of times it starts with this. And it wakes up the lion, it prepares the lion to get ready for everything else. And when I was talking about when the lion is running, it usually starts like this.
Now we know everything about lion dance. Let's relax and enjoy the fantastic show.
Wow, those lines are amazing, and those dancers have years practice and plenty of skill. When we return, we'll meet two men who are using their skills to make beautiful art. Welcome back to INBOX. More Americans are getting older and returning than ever before. But being retired no longer means sitting by the fire in the rocking chair. Many men and women are making second careers, pursuing hobbies, and learning new skills. Our reporter Pepe has our story of two men who are finding retirement very fulfilling.
We have 10,000 people every day turning 65.
Patrick Callahan is the director of UC Berkeley Retirement Center. He knows when people stop working, staying mentally active is important.
There are various people that are looking at the impact of people who stay engaged in one way or the other once they retire from full-time work. It's very important for people because they will have 20 to 30 years of fairly healthy life.
Clark Ediston was a fireman in Santa Clara, California for nearly 30 years. It was a very stressful career.
In the fire department, everything is about seconds. You have seconds to make a decision about what to do, seconds to get there, seconds to save someone's life sometimes.
Where once he faced fire emergencies every day, now, in retirement, he no longer faces those split seconds and dangerous decisions.
So careful.
And today, he uses fire to create art.
It's a way to just escape into the pottery that you're making, the piece that you're working on. Yeah, I love pottery. I love it a lot. I felt an instant connection to it the first time I tried it. There was something about just the experience of the clay, the way it feels in your hands, and how something comes together from nothing and becomes something very permanent.
Pottery taught Clark to be more patient, and the patience helps him be more creative. Clark believes that when he is making pottery, he is also stimulating his mind.
The fact that I don't like to do the same thing too much. I like to try new things all the time, new designs, new techniques, new little shapes, I guess.
Clark, what's this?
This is a piece I started about a year and a half, 2 years ago. and it's just something I've been kind of having fun with. I was kind of stretching my limits a little bit. I'm always trying to stretch my limits a little bit on what I do. It's just part of having fun with what you're doing so you don't get bored.
Making pottery is purely a hobby.
I'm lucky because I had a great job that let me retire with a comfortable pension, and I don't have to sell my work to survive, so I can take that liberty. I think I'm really lucky that way.
Clark loves to give pottery to his friends as a gift when he finishes a new piece.
Oh, you're wonderful help.
Oh, thank you so much. So beautiful. Here in San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood, we met another retireee who also uses his hand and his mind for a better, richer retirement.
I'm the son of the one who lived.
Meet Mark Steven Johnson. He wrote this. He calls it the song of the one who lived.
The one who lived.
He retired from his career as a teacher.
Well, I got more time on my hands. I've been retired almost not quite a year now. It is an adjustment. It's, you know, everybody thinks, oh great, you don't have to work anymore. Of course, you don't have to work anymore. But, I mean, every day is Saturday.
But Mark Johnson isn't taking time off. He's becoming an artist, turning a hobby of knitting into a second career.
How long does it take to make each piece of your artwork?
Knitting is really, really slow. This takes 4 hours to make 1 inch. It's very slow. But even though it's so slow, I mean, I knit for like over 45 years, so I got a lot of knittings.
Mark Johnson usually works at home in his rented room, which is only 100 square feet, but is filled with his artwork.
I think his art is really valuable.
Romney Schmaltz owns an art gallery and is Mark's business partner. She says his skill could be worth a lot of money in time.
Maybe 5 or 10 years from now, more, if we can help him establish his name as a fine artist in the community, because prices go up in fine art based on name.
So when he become famous, the artwork will increase the price.
Yeah.
However, becoming famous is not Mark's main pursuit. Knitting has become part of his life. He credits knitting for keeping his brain sharp.
Yeah, keep the machine working. You know, I mean, look, I got a lot of yarns on here. This is complicated knitting. I mean, I spend a lot of time just untangling the yarns. When I do it, it's very active work, and it stimulates the mind.
So we have met a couple of retired Bay Area characters who have found a way to stay young at heart in their retirement. We wonder if scientific evidence supports Clark and Mark's enthusiasm.
Yeah, the data is starting to accumulate that if retirees engage in those kinds of productive, meaningful activities, things that they enjoy and they feel good about, and their health status and their feelings about themselves and their feelings about the world that they live in.
It's good lesson for all of us. Staying busy help us all to stay healthy in both body and mind. When we return, we'll meet an artist who uses light in different and unusual ways. Glad to see you are still here. Meryl Bataki is San Francisco artist who uses metal, wood, neon light, and even natural flower in unique design. Unusual, you say? You are right. Luna went to her studio to see how she does it.
Welcome to Melting Point Studios, which is what this is called. It is a pretty old building.
Meryl Patak, a silversmith, welder, and a neon artist, often describes herself as a huge outer space nerd. Her work relies on her own personal narrative and the concept of a universal connection.
I do multimedia art. a lot of different mediums. I use steel, organics, found objects, jewelry, all sorts of metals, and experimental processes, as well as neon. I try to combine them all together.
She uses neon here, but she also uses wood, metal, and real roses. Her connection-themed artwork becomes a shining, glowing centerpiece of the gallery representing her.
Neon is a commercial medium used for advertising, so it's interesting when it's used in an artistic context because it's almost as if the artist is advertising their ideas. It gets a lot of attention.
Attention. Artists love attention. Mara's most recent work, New Moon, connects silver, wood, and neon. She makes artwork that is not only unique, but also useful. Useful because
it kind of shows the collector that it can be used in like a living room or in any practical place where you might want shelving. And then also, I just love the metal detail and the texture of the metal along the moons as you go.
And unique because
neon art is obviously very different from paintings and photography. Neon is somewhat sculptural as well as an illuminated medium, and so it definitely has its own uniqueness and originality to it.
Mara's work is professional both in its quality and materials. It's also remarkable for expressing emotion by combining images with letters and words.
For two reasons I chose to use the words. Number one, because of its direct translation from advertising and commercial applications, and also because words are the hardest thing to do in neon and to get them right.
We got lucky. We got to see Mara in action and her work in its process.
While you're bending on a paper pattern, but it has a metal screen so it protects it from burning, so it doesn't catch the paper on fire. And then when you bend, you're in the fire here, and then you come over and you lay it on top of the pattern to make sure that your bends are really, really good. And all the while you're making sure that the glass doesn't like kink on itself.
Her kind of art takes time. The best effects are achieved through repetition, patience, and adaptation.
And here you have a cursive H. Super small and cute.
While I tried to learn some of her processes, I understood a little bit how Mara feels when she is working.
Away from the crack. So pull out. Oh. There you go.
There is a sense of focus and calm. There is also a deep sense of satisfaction, especially when you get something right.
Exactly, like you're rolling a cigarette or a joint or something. Yep. There you go. That's a good puff.
I thought the whole thing was so satisfying and so intriguing. I began to wonder more about Mara. Like, who showed Mara how to do this? Who sparked her imagination? Who lit her neon torch? Her teacher, Kokainen, is also a neon artist. He's been using neon in fine art for over 20 years.
Well, I love her artwork. Yeah, but I think one of the things that's interesting is that a lot of her use of neon is graphic, so it's not that far from the commercial use of it. The commercial use in signs is often graphic, either in text or in graphic images, and she uses text and graphic images.
Mara isn't the first artist to work in neon, and she doesn't just work in neon. In fact, she connects many materials together. She's what you might call a mixed media pop artist. One great example of this style is her piece, Journey.
Journey, it's phonetic spelling for journey, and it's spelled out for you right there, but it's obscured at the same time. People whose native language is English don't know journey to be spelled this way, and they are forced to sound it out and spend a little bit more time with that word, and it makes it an intimate experience for them with the piece.
a little test tube of light from our huge outer space nerd.
Neon always implies in my work that like little habitat of like atoms in a fury being lit up and like bringing life to something.
Whether it's real, life roses that die in her artwork, or words, or natural materials, or chemical elements, Mara is obviously interested in bringing things to life. And like our life, the journey begins down a long tube. And at the end of that tube is a little bit of light.
A little bit of light that shines so brightly and beautifully. And that does it for this episode of INBOX. We hope you enjoyed dancing with the lines. Perhaps you were inspired by those two active retirees. And with it, you saw the light from those fantastic creations. I'm Ghazim Gharbel. Thank you for watching INBOX.